Um, Having listened to some of the talks from the room next door and also in this last session today, I can only but endorse everything I've heard, especially in this last session, listening to everybody talking. And it's quite interesting because one of the things that came out just now, listening to Kate talking earlier on with regards to the Olympic legacy, it's one of the things that I sometimes get, what's the right word, as an ex-sportsman, I mean, frustrated in some ways, because as somebody who has been in a competition at that sort of level, albeit a few years ago, having been in the World Cup final in '91 at Twickenham in London, and having got as far as the semi-finals in South Africa in '95, when you talk about legacy, a lot of people seem to be hidebound by the thought of it being a tangible edifice that is somewhere that is a legacy. The one thing that came very clear to me, and what I've witnessed ever since I've finished playing my career, is that legacy is also something that's intangible, and that people who keep coming up to me and saying, I remember when you were in the semi-final and when Rob Andrew dropped the kick and we beat Australia, it was quarterfinals, we beat Australia to go and meet New Zealand in the semi-final. I remember that point. I remember that fantastic feeling I had. In fact, after that, I went and did this, that, and the other. And that sense of whether it's aspirational or inspirational or whatever it is, and whether there is something that they can go and play at or do or whatever, sometimes a legacy is not just about something that's tangible and built there. And I just want to put that across as somebody who's a sportsman who's been there. And I've seen so many people benefit from the feel-good factor, the sense of inspiration, aspiration, targets, driving people on, that maybe they don't go and play sport, but they do something in their own life. And that's what I'm looking forward to, as well as the tangible elements of the legacy from the Olympics later on this year. And just to clarify as well, in the context I want to talk now, as my role as the chairman of the Leicester Sports Partnership Trust, it says there for children and young people, but actually for us as the trust here, I suppose the phrase cradle to grave pretty encompasses where we're trying to aspire to with ours. And a lot of the things that has been talked about already by the speakers this afternoon encompasses a lot of the ideals and aspirations we have. In trying to rattle on as quickly as possible, and try and get you away to grab your trains, etc. I am the chair of the Leicester Sports Partnership Trust Board. Bit of a mouthful, I know. But tied in, as you can see from the top there, with the One Leicester concept with the council, the city council. So very much tied in with regards to them. I will introduce myself. I'm sure you can see the pictures there, and I've been introduced, and the chair, and how that has all come about, and the story behind it. I suppose if I go to the next slide, which some of you might recognise, when I first got invited to come and be the chair, this was the sort of landscape that I was introduced to as to how you go about trying to understand sport, funding, etc. And then when I was introduced to the Leicester City Council's concept of sport and how that infrastructure lands, which is sort of over the top of all this as well, I obviously lost the will to live. And so one of the things that came into the whole concept of what we aspired to do was to try and simplify and align everybody's thoughts. And I think those two words will come out from everything that's been said, both from Grant at Newham and with Richard with the CSP. Pretty much out of that, I was invited because the then Chief Executive Officer had an aspiration to simplify, make it easier, and try and bring everybody together, a la what the CSP set out its stall. Following our birth, this is what we have at the moment, which to some people might seem still a bit complicated, but as you can see, the overarching Leicester partnership, and within the second level there, you can see that the Children's Trust, us as the board, and the Health and Wellbeing Partnership are all the major executives of the City Council.